In 2019, just before the beginning of the pandemic, we came together in a large group to undertake a project that was called Structurally Unsound. And its focus was structural inequalities and the intersectional nature of different inequalities that come together and create particular hardships, particular tensions for certain groups with certain key characteristics.
The interesting thing with Grand Challenge is the extent to which it takes, obviously, big themes. And for so many of us, we work in particular areas. So when I was at the Resolution Foundation, we were an economic think tank focused on people on low incomes. Now at Pro Bono Economics, we're a charity that supports people with low well-being. And you get very drawn into that world. The Grand Challenge idea elevates you and takes you away from that and gives you that helicopter sense and brings you together with other people who wouldn't necessarily consider themselves to be part of the solution to that particular problem. But actually, when you all get together in a room and you start talking to each other and you realise what you're all doing, and that amplification, that multiplication of what you're doing and the impact that you're having, that then starts to feel really quite powerful.
Fundamentally, it was a network building project, and it was very effective at achieving that. We brought together a range of key charities, and not just representatives of those charities, but the leaders of those charities. So the leaders of the Foresight Society, Stonewall, Shelter, and also the CBI was involved in this. So it was cross-sectoral, if you like. I suppose UCL's contribution to this was to bring research capacity. So to get a better understanding of the core inequalities in health, education, employment, housing, and so forth. But then to say to this group of charities that actually now we can also bring to bear on this problem with you in partnership research capacity to better understand the intersectional nature of these issues. And it wasn't only UCL bringing that capacity, but also the Resolution Foundation.
Structurally Unsound had many impacts across different areas. In the policy space, the report and its findings were referenced in the House of Lords as part of a debate on inequalities. The report and the findings were also picked up by select committees. A message that we really pushed was that we needed to make headway on intersectional inequalities, i.e. not just take kind of single issues, single women's issues, but actually think about how does being a woman, disabled, living in the UK, all intersect to make a difference to your life chances. And that's been one of the key messages that we've pushed, but that's also been picked up in policy arenas. I think what surprised us was the relevance for local government and actually mayoral authorities. So we worked with the Greater Manchester Authority to think with them about structural and relational inequalities, and then especially thinking about their strategy and research development. And also, I think indirectly, the fact that we've done this work has given kind of credibility to the Grand Challenges programme and UCL Public Policy as two programmes that are really interested in taking a different approach to thinking through inequalities. So, for example, working with Islington Council on their fair work agenda. So we've definitely had traction within national government, local government, regional government, and with Parliament, which has been amazing.
And so the Grand Challenge is, it just gives the space to take that step back and to have an elevated view and say, okay, what does the world look like? What world do we want to see? What are we already doing? What else do we need to do? And can we coordinate in a soft way to make sure that we're doing as much as we can do in order to amplify each other and to plug the gaps that we can collectively see, and in the end make sure that what we're doing is also policy relevant. So it's not just research for research's sake, it's not just another academic study. It is saying, okay, how does change happen? What are the missing pieces? Can we collectively fill those in?
It's shown me that you don't need to always think externally to think collaboratively. So actually understanding that the Grand Challenges is here at UCL and they are a great partner for a lot of the work that we do because they have such deep, rich know-how on interdisciplinary research, which actually you really need to answer or to illuminate, I suppose, responses to wicked policy challenges. It's shown me that things take time and that policy impacts develop over time as well. I knew that, but there's often an imperative, I suppose, to show the value of why you're doing the work that you're doing, and that can be dictated by the funder or can be dictated by, different timelines essentially. But this has really shown me that you need to track impact over a long period of time, but also that policy impacts, they take time to develop. But I also think it cemented in my mind the need for that external partnership and to take time to think about and discuss what you want from a policy commission and what you each hope to bring and how it might work, because there are periods throughout where things go awry, things go off track, the external landscape changes. It's been quite profound, I think, in the way that we work.